When sailors find themselves hundreds of miles from land, surrounded by water in every direction but up, they're bound to wonder what's lurking in the dark waters below. So, what's hidden in the deepest, darkest parts of our oceans? Could some of the monstrous stories actually be true? Let's find out in today's episode of
Colossal Mysteries.
For as long as humans have sailed the Earth's oceans, we've wondered what mysteries its depths might hide. Stories of sea monsters swallowing ships full of sailors whole have filled people with fears since antiquity. The Earth's surface is almost 3/4 water, yet we know shockingly little about what's down there, considering all the technology we possess. In fact, many say we know more about our solar system than we do about the deepest parts of our own oceans. So, what's down there? Is there a chance that deep-water monsters could live in the most remote reaches of the sea? One of the most well-known mythical sea creatures is the mighty Kraken. The first stories of this massive monster date back to Norway, Greenland, and Iceland in the early 1100s AD. The Kraken is said to have long, flexible tentacles like a giant octopus, but quite a bit bigger. Some stories describe the Kraken as being over a mile long, able to swallow up the largest vessels with ease. But according to lore, this deep-sea demon rarely attacks ships, preferring to feast on entire schools of fish deep below the water's surface. But if an angry Kraken did decide to attack, it meant total destruction. Krakens would supposedly use their terrible tentacles to tangle a ship's sails and masts, grabbing hold of the ship and sucking it down into the cold, briny water, never to emerge again. But even if a Kraken didn't attack, they could still sink a ship. If a boat was too close to a Kraken while it surfaced, the boat would capsize, and even worse, if the mythical monster decided to dive deep, they could create a whirlpool that sucked up any vessels nearby. These old sailors' tales are terrifying, but are they true? Could the stories of giant sea monsters like the Kraken be based in reality? Or is it all just tall tales told by men who spent too many hours on the open sea? Well, the answer may surprise you. While stories of mile-wide sea creatures like the Kraken are almost certainly embellished, it turns out the creature does have some roots in reality. Over the centuries, sailors have continued to return home with stories of seeing giant, tentacled creatures at sea, and bits of giant tentacles have even been found inside the stomachs of dead whales. Whales carry other evidence too. Some whales have been found with long scars across their bodies. These seem to imply vicious underwater battles with some sort of giant creatures with tentacles. Finally, after centuries of speculation, the mystery was solved. In the mid-1800s, scientists discovered evidence of the giant squid and officially recognized it as an authentic, living animal. And believe it or not, the mystery doesn't end there. You see, in the early 1900s, scientists discovered an even larger species of squid living deep below the surface. A fully grown adult specimen was finally discovered in 2007, when fishermen from New Zealand managed to haul one up near Antarctica. It's known as the colossal squid, and it's currently the largest known living invertebrate. So what's lurking in the darkest, coldest depths of the deepest parts of our ocean? The truth is, we've barely scratched the surface. And until we can explore deeper to find answers, people will just have to continue to wonder about what mysteries lie below the surface. And now you know how little we know about the deepest parts of the ocean. Comment below with a mystery you'd like us to solve, and remember to subscribe for more episodes of
Colossal Mysteries.
only on DreamWorks TV.